What is up, everybody? You're live with the Prodigy. At this point, the Prodigy of everything, covering everything. Man, I thought I thought we were done, or I wasn't gonna have enough content because I stopped being a big wrestling fan, stopped covering wrestling. But man, I'm interested in giving my opinion, especially what has to do with giving somebody's justice. And this particular R. Kelly story is quite frightening from a lot of different angles. It seems like everybody has a personal vendetta to go after men. Some people feel like they have to go after men. It's not, to me, it doesn't feel like it's justice for victims of predators, as all these women are possibly were preyed on by R. Kelly. What y'all have to understand about me is, first of all, I'm from Chicago. R. Kelly's from Chicago. My best friend went to the high school that R. Kelly went to. It's always been stories of R. Kelly uh, lingering over or going after teenage girls. And at one point, people were saying even boys. Until recently, the theory about boys was never substantiated, so I never really paid much attention to that. However, the scary fact of the amount of victims he went after in general is quite frightening. But my issue with this whole situation is the pick sides, the parties that people are throwing on Twitter instead of it being about justice. Hey, if he did something wrong, throw his ass up, lock the key away. He never gets out, or at least for the crime should fit the sentencing should fit the crime, so to speak. So if he due to whatever the amount of charges is, which I mean he's going to be old as hell if he get what's the word I'm looking for? If he goes down, they hit the verdict that he's guilty on all 22 of those charges. As far as I know, I don't know how many charges came out after yesterday's final episode. I have to read the synopsis of it. I just been seeing blurbs on Twitter that I want to give my opinion about, and also nothing particular stood out about this particular episode because it's what we've kind of known about him for a while. The whole marrying Aaliyah underage and how questionable was it, which it is. I'm totally against underage uh, adolescents marrying people that's older. However, we cannot let the parents off hook. Why did the parents allow this to happen? What responsibility, if all, falls on the parents? I would say at least half of it. At least half of it. Like, y'all didn't know about this, and then all the information coming out about the parents signing NDAs so they couldn't speak out about her alleged forged documents and all this. This story gets a little weird. And the most frightening part to me is that a lot of people are picking and choose who they want to hold accountable. Everybody involved with this should be held accountable. That's the end of the story. Everybody that allegedly conspired and, hiding documents or being hush hush when he had all these women kidnapped, or not talking to their parents or cooperating, or whatever the case may be. But as it stands with the particular Aaliyah situation, is once again, why did your parents allow that kid to get married? You're not going to sit here and tell me they didn't know he was marrying her. I'm sure all this went through them. If Aaliyah signed to him as a artist, it's certain legal documents that the parents have to sign to know about any of this stuff. So let's stop being naive and saying the parents didn't know anything about it, or at least giving them the pass because y'all want to ultimately, the ultimate goal is take down the predator R. Kelly. Which, if you can prove that he did all this, which allegedly was supposed to be the purpose of these documentaries, justice will prevail. But what I'm against is the parties and the picket sides, the women versus men, and all this. It is about justice for the victims. At the end of the day, that's all it's about. So let's go into this article that I think, what's these people called? Is it Vox? So they call it a cut. So we already know about the disgusting feces smearing that he did when women allegedly didn't do the sex he wanted to. All of this is pretty crazy. I mean, a lot of this stuff that they could prove, which a lot of, obviously they got documentation of it, he should go to jail for that. But as far as things he's not charged on, drop the charges for it. So let's get into what we found out on last night's episodes. Survivors are still dealing with the fallout of abuse from going public with it. In today's time, I had a hard time believing any woman is afraid to go to public. I have a hard time believing that because the support is there. Is it perfect? No, but it's there. Like, dudes think twice about saying or doing crazy stuff to women now because the Me Too and the speaking out, all that stuff is there. The support, the majority in domestic situations, judges are usually women. The support is there. And what we have to put more light on and focus on is the women that get to sign NDAs, and then when the money run out, they get to complain and say, "Oh well, he did this and that." It has to be a statute of limitations on this stuff. If a person did something wrong, I'm all for them going to jail, but you don't get to pick, "Oh, I'm gonna make him suffer before he dies." That's kind of what happened with Cosby, even though Cosby's a piece of crap. But that's essentially what happened, and I think a lot of his lawyers was able to pick the loophole because they had a NDA. Some of the particular people that he got the hardest allegations from, he had an NDA, and it was no statutes of limitation. This is why this stuff need to be implemented, because it's collateral damage on both sides. It's collateral damage on the person we want to go to jail, and it's collateral damage on the people that serve their time and they're being overly punished. That's why this needs to, I think major legislation will come out of this. If it don't, why bother with this? A lot of people are taking an angle on this particular situation that Lifetime and all these people are trying to profit off of it. That's a fair argument. Maybe they are trying to profit off of it. I think a certain slice of the people involved with this particular series is trying to do that. I think it's another part that they just want justice for the people involved. Honestly. So the problem that lies is you don't know who's telling the truth and who's being dishonest. That's what it needs to be. Major, thorough, long-term investigations to come out of this. And most importantly, legislation. New legislation needs to come out of it. I'm all about solutions, not about arguing over stuff that we know that happened. I'm all about solutions and getting the victims what they need. Anyway, let's get into what we learned from the episode yesterday. So multiple survivors and family members spoke about dealing with the traumatic aftermath of R. Kelly's abuse and the backlash they faced after going public with it. The family of Azario Clary recalled an associate of Kelly setting their car on fire and dousing the perimeter of the house with gasoline in 2020. I forgot to mention this yesterday for whatever reason. DJ and the survivor, Kitty Jones, said he faced backlash in the black community for bringing down a black man. And that's what this person that told the story was apparently he was bullied by these people, which is not right, obviously. Adding that her attorney lost clients as a result of representing her. Jahandra Pace said, quote, "She can't even put my kids to school because of everything surrounding the trial." That could be true because there's a lot of bullying involved with a lot of this stuff. I wouldn't put that past them. While survivors Faith Rogers explained how she has struggled with anxiety and depression following R. Kelly's abuse, saying, "There are days I really don't think I'm going to make it, and I'm 30. Oh, no, make it to 30. She's 24 years old, and I hate life. It has taken everything for me not to just blow my head off." First of all, if anybody that's affected by this, you need to get the much-needed counseling. Like, you can only be a victim for so long. That's almost like when somebody's a pedophile and they prey on, well, bad turn of words. We're talking about a pedophile, alleged pedophile, R. Kelly right now. But that's like if somebody's a rapist. Let's use rapist as a better example. Let's say somebody's a rapist and they use the excuse, "I was raped as a child, so I rape other people." Dude, get the therapy, or lady, get the therapy that you need and move on with this. That's no excuse for you to prey on innocent people. I'm not buying that excuse. That sounds like bullshit to me. Honestly, that sounds like absolute nonsense. I'm not going to tolerate those type of excuses from people that think they could be predators, or if you are a serial abuser of women because your mom or whatever females in your life previously abuse you. That's not the current person's fault, and we need to get over it. We need to get this whole blaming mentality out of our culture. It works both ways. It works towards the victim and the alleged perpetrator. We have to. It's all about justice and balance at the end of the day. The amount of women that I've seen throw parties just over the fact of a guy going down. Forget all the stuff, not forget what he said. Let's place that to the left. Let's go lateral with it for a minute. Let's say he just liked being with a lot of women. I'm sure to be a slice of women that would have had a problem. Because let's take the example with a less extreme example with Tory Lanez, which is ironically is also happening right now. And he's going to trial on the 27th. To fight for his freedom, because he already got charged. It's a matter of how much time he's going to do, and if he can get an appeal or whatever the case may be. But it seems like it's this large group of women that's just happy that a guy that they perceive as bad is going down. That's what I have an issue with. If you can prove that these people have perpetuated these atrocities, of course they should get the whole book, the jail thrown at them and go to jail. And serve whatever time is applicable to the crime or crimes, plural, that they've offended. So this is what I have issue, and I'll come across it all the time. One girl wanted to get on here yesterday and try to ask me crazy because I asked her, "Do you have the same energy towards Cardi B, who admitted that she drugged men?" And then she wanted to argue me. I didn't say nothing to her about it because, of course, when I say something, even if it's factual, they want to take me offline and people that think like me offline. So that's an example. I've went through multiple rooms, multiple streams of these women that seem like they have this personal vendetta. Again, it's almost like the guy is guilty until proven innocent. Now, they say people don't believe women, which I'm sure that's the case. I'm pretty sure it's a large percentage of the world, which is mostly male dominated, that don't believe women when they say she's raped, even if she got evidence. I'm pretty sure that's mostly true. I would say that's probably well over 60, close to 70% true. However, it is women that know how to play the system. And in modern times, in the age of Me Too, I would say post really like 2014, it seems like if the roles flip where men are guilty until proven innocent. Now, if we could prove they did something, send them to jail. But when you have a person that's proved to be a liar, that say like those kids, those lacrosse players, that I didn't know till way later that those lacrosse players were lied on by those girls that they invited. I think they were like at the university, a school in like North Carolina someplace. They were a lacrosse team. And those women who looked convinced and said those dudes raped them, and it came out later that they made up the story. So you have to thoroughly investigate these things with these particular victims to get all sides of the story so nobody gets railroaded by accident. That's ultimately what this is about at the end of the day. And I feel like none of this is happening. Parents must be accountable. Everybody involved, the people that gave Aaliyah away and all the other people. Now, one thing I thought that was quite alarming, that is allegedly some girl that's still kidnapped someplace, and Kelly's people were saying that it was a mutual relationship. That needs to obviously be investigated because that sounds pretty messed up. But other than that, everything else I've seen today that's come out of this particular episode is finger pointing. Stop that, y'all. We're all adults. Everybody have their individual problems. At the end of the day, this is about the victims. This is not about y'all ego, and y'all putting y'all isolated incidents of trauma out there for the court of public opinion. Because a lot of the times in today's time, people get crucified by the court of public opinion, not the actual legal court, the court of public opinion. Now, all the Harvey Weinsteins and Cosbys and R. Kelly, for what we know about him, is factual. One thing we cannot deny about R. Kelly is he likes little kids, which that's where the fucking buck stops with me. I never liked that about the dude. I've never minced words about disliking that about the dude. That's pretty fucked up. You need to get some counseling to some dude. It is no way you should be sexually aroused by children, male, female, cisgender, whatever the hell you want to call them. That's pretty fucked up. And I think also a part of the community that needs to be held accountable for this is partially the people that's on the LGBT side that are trying to lower the age of consent for male, gay partners or whatever the case may be. Any type of interaction with kid. NAMBLA. I don't know if they fall under the LGBT, but the NAMBLA people, I'm sorry if they don't follow that. It's just I don't know who falls under LGBT these days because it gets more complex as we go along. But NAMBLA and all those people, they're equally as responsible. No, I take that back. Paula the penis, the whole thing in San Diego, that was an LGBT. It was LGBT people supporting that. Where it was this woman and a kid. These kids had to be no more. They had to range from the age of 4 and about 8 years old. They were being taught and read a book by Avatar, by a mascot in San Diego, which California is a relatively liberal state for the most part. They were being read stories by a woman dressed as a penis. So we have to ask ourselves, at what point do we start protecting what we consider minors? And then when something happens to them later on, we act surprised. This is overall an issue that we have as a culture in general. The lowering the age and making it comfortable for predators wanting to even go after kids. You think a predator would go after a kid if they knew people was watching them? Like, come on, we have to use our brains at some point. And that some people might get upset at that, but that's a fact. Everybody's held accountable for this type of stuff. That's how I look at it. So we can't cry wolf when the money run out or when the terms aren't advantageous for us in particular. We can't do that. That is bias, blasphemy, whatever type of adage you want to add to it. It's nonsense. It is not fair for people to be accused of stuff without getting proper due process. I have an issue with that across the board, irrespective of color, gender, nationality. It don't matter. It's just not fair. Simple. So God bless all the people that was actually victims that can prove it. But shame on y'all that's out here perpetrating and pump faking based off, I might be able to get a check. Shame on y'all, man. It's a special place in hell for y'all. Let me know what y'all think of this video. Follow me on YouTube, TJ the Project, good or different. I literally just edited my YouTube channel so I can allow negative comments. It's automatically set where it has a check mark that says don't allow. I'm all for the comments. Only thing you'll get clowned on if you start coming in being racist, like just blatantly racist. That's what I have a problem with. Other than that, Speak your purpose, say what you like. This is all about discourse. I'm tired of the era we live in where people get upset because they disagree with people. We're supposed to have discourse. That's how you grow as a nation. And most importantly, that's how you grow as a human being. Simple as that. We have to have discourse, be it in politics, be it in entertainment, be it in social issues or litigation, whatever the case may be. We have to have discourse, or it's just going to be people folding their arms and nothing gets settled. That is not a solution. It is not. So, yeah. TJ the Prodigy on YouTube is TJ Time 1991. I'm looking forward to hearing people's opinion about this. And please, if you're going to come scream at me on my timeline, at it's TJ Time 1991 on Twitter, at least sound objective, or you're going to get ignored. If you come on there and just say N-word, really, or N-word question mark, and insisting that I don't know what I'm talking about, or I didn't do research, I'm just going to ignore you. Like, come with a constructive feedback, or you're going to get laughed at. I'm going to put a clown emoji and laugh at you if you don't have a constructive art. Because there's so many people that just come up there, yeah, you think he's right because of a guy. What about that I said that? And not only that, it's people, when I hashtag this video, that say hashtag free R. Kelly. That's not saying I want him to be free. That's what the current hashtag that's trending on Twitter is. I want people to see it that's talking under that forum. Duh, use y'all brain. It has been so many people that's done it. But anyway, I'm out. I'm looking forward to hearing from y'all once again, YouTube and Twitter. I'll catch y'all in a bit. Peace. Oh, check out the other one I did. I did one a couple days ago that's way more thorough than this, that went over his whole history up until yesterday's episode. Check the YouTube out, TJ the Prodigy, or on Twitter, it's TJ Time 1991. Peace.